Hey, I want to talk about what happened in Cleveland just the other night. That debate, wow. But first, let me share a story with you that happened more than 60 years ago. There was a little guy named Joe. He was about 18 years old, and he was a bellboy at a hotel. 3 fishermen came into the hotel and said, hey, we want a room. 3 rooms, please. Nope, we only got one left, the guy behind the counter said. He said, it's $30. Hey, cheaper than those days. So each fisherman gave a $10 bill, went up to the room, and there was 3 beds, and life was grand. Then the guy behind the counter looked at little Joe the bellboy and said, you know what? Oops, I've overcharged these poor gentlemen. Should have only been 25, not 30. Here's 5 $1 bills. Take it and give it back to those people. Little Joe was on his way up the stairs, and he was quickly learning about accounting, liberal kind of sense. And he said, hey, there's 5 $1 bills, and there's only 3 of them. I'm going to give them each $1. He did that. And he kept 2. So each fisherman now didn't spend 10. They only spent 9. Right? 3 9s are 27. Little Joe kept 2. 3 9s are 27 plus 2 is 29. Where's the extra $1? Hey, there, ponder that for the day. The first presidential debate brought in 68 million viewers from across 8 broadcast and cable networks, with Fox News leading the way by attracting 17.8 million viewers. In addition, Fox News had 10 million additional viewers from their digital platforms, which takes them upwards to about 45% of the entire viewing audience in the United States of America was watching Fox News. That's good. That's good news, because I watched a little bit of Fox, and then I watched a little bit of CNN and a little bit from other channels, and it's like you're on in a different planet, because Fox reports it this way, which is a nice way, a good way, kind of a factual way, where CNN, wow, you talk about bias. That is fake news. I mean, it's kind of like the riots recently. I was listening to CNN talk about the riots. It's like, it's no big deal. I mean, had they been around in World War II or previous to that, when Pearl Harbor happened, CNN probably, based on what they're doing today, probably would have reported that, hey, there was a peaceful flyover today by the Japanese Navy, Air Force, son of a gun. Trump and Biden watching this debate. It was kind of interesting, eh? Everybody yelling at everybody and interrupting and so on. But I don't know that that's all bad. I mean, let them go at it, because Trump doesn't have the opportunity to go after and to call Biden on so many things. And Biden kind of backs up. I think he had an earpiece on anyway. Kind of looked like he was getting direction with all those pauses and things. That's an aside, who knows. But, he said to Trump, you're the worst president that America's ever had. Of course he is. True statement, Joe. For liberals, because he's draining the swamp, and it's a terrible thing for all you little left-wing whacks. It's bad. I'm with you on that idea. Supreme Court, ever since Ruth Ginsburg died, the Democrats, they missed the liberalism. I mean, they're ruthless, these Democrats, but that was talked about as well on the debate. And Biden said, you don't have the right to appoint a Supreme Court judge to replace Judge Ginsburg. And we have to have an election. And Trump said, we had an election. Where you been, Joe? We had an election. I'm the president. I have the White House. I have the Senate. That's already been done. You're telling me that the people have to vote for someone to do this? They did, and I am. What part of that don't you get, Joe? I mean, you know what? You should pick your battles better. The stuff that they're trying to fight about, I don't think makes any sense. And then you kind of go to other channels and you watch Hollywood. All these actors are being interviewed, right? Trump is so rude. He's a bully. They're giving us advice on bullyism? Are you kidding me? These are people that don't talk so nice about other people, and they tell us what to do, and God put them on earth just to entertain us and be quiet when it comes to politics, please. I mean, during the pandemic, Democrats gave us a sneak peek of things to come, if in fact they ever got power, right? They'll demolish capitalism, and they'll promote the Green New Deal. They'll usher in a Venezuelan type of government. They truly will. It's a socialist, communist government that will lead to oppression, starvation, and poverty. That sounds extreme for the United States of America, doesn't it? But you know what? It isn't. It can happen. Again, Venezuela and so many other examples are out there. The Democrats will shut down our churches and force us into government dependency rather than dependent on God and hard work. I mean, Biden even said, I'm going to probably close the economy down again so we can save some lives. I mean, wow. I mean, let's sell the plow so we can buy some seeds. It doesn't compute, right? It just doesn't make any sense. They'll defund law enforcement, disarm us. The citizenry leave us defenseless against an oppressive government and jackbooted thugs. This day of reckoning is coming on November 3rd. You gotta vote against socialism, and you gotta vote for capitalism. You know what? This isn't about Trump. But this isn't about Biden. This is about capitalism and socialism. I mean, Trump and Biden are jockeys. They're on the horse, and one horse is going to the right, and one horse is going to the left, and they're going to continue going that direction even when the jockeys change. In 4 years from now, those two jockeys, they're long gone. I mean, they're finished, and you have new people on the horses. You got to keep the horse race going the right direction. Right. That would be right. Politically right is right and left is wrong. I mean, these communist, socialist people, and by the way, communism is just socialism in a hurry. And these guys, the left, the Democrats, they're going there. And it's a bad thing. I mean, and then they also talked about the virus, as I mentioned, and Biden said, we're going to shut down the economy. And it's a disaster. Look at Disneyland. They've laid off recently 28,000 people. 28,000. That sounds like a small number when you compare it to all the millions who have lost their jobs. But 28,000 from one employer? Wow. And most people now are working at home. People have said to me, do you work at home? And I said, you know what? I live at home. I don't work at home. I work in an office building. In my case, it's a little different because I own the office building. But you know what? It's a bad thing. We all need to get back to normal. And to do that, we need good leadership. You got to have leadership. It's not just America. It's the world. The world is watching. And so many people said Trump did a terrible job. Did he? I don't think so. He talked over everybody, but he was trying to make a point. Because he doesn't get to make a point very often. Right now they're saying, let's change the rules because we don't like how he acted. Well, the other guy didn't act so nice either. They were having a conversation, a debate, a fight, pick your word each. But it was kind of fun to watch in a lot of ways because Trump has been, like he said, I've been assaulted and attacked and wow. And now I get to talk, right? And he had some very, very good points. But everyone is so busy pointing out bad stuff that they miss the good, and there is a lot of good. And again, it's right versus left. Socialism, capitalism, I just can't say it enough. If you don't like Trump, get over it. Vote for the party. You need an administration. You need an administration that is capitalist by nature, and the swamp people, there are swamp people on the Republican side too, and I understand that. But you know what? Not so much when you compare it to the Democrats. And these are dangerous people. They lie, they cheat. Everyone says that Trump lies and that he cheats. And they focus on the tax stuff and everything else. And what's that got to do with the price of a banana anyway? Who cares? It's his business. It's not written anywhere with regards to the Constitution. You're not supposed to know how much people make. I swing back to Biden and look and say, hey, you've made this much a year for 47 years, and yet your net worth is that much. How does that happen? I mean, I think all politicians of high ranking, at least, they go in as poor people and they come out as very rich people. I think the only person in history to go in as a billionaire and come out as a millionaire will be the patriot that we have now. And everybody should understand that. Now, lastly today, I'm going to tell you something that kind of doesn't matter other than the censorship and everything that goes with it. 60 billion, with a B, minutes of YouTube are watched each and every day. That's a staggering number, right? But they do censor the right because people in the press, because they want to control us. It's all about achievement for us on the right, and it's all about activity and no achievement for those on the left. And YouTube is kind of going there. And a lot of these digital platforms, they're censoring what we say. And look at Trump. Look at all the censorship that he gets all of the time. And it still looks like the right is winning. Hey, we can only hope y'all come back. We'll have more for you from the right. See ya.